how is this destroying us? We're the king and queens of threesomes.
Yeah.
There's a hotel next to our building. I booked a hotel room. Was I out of my fucking mind or what? You would have thought that would have been the turning point, but I still met up with her then the next week. And then I went to a dark place.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've learned that Rick doesn't know when to put things to rest. Wow!
I gotta start banging that thing.
He's like,
Yeah, like a little pussy.
baby, that's why I've been the Slater queen. I've been slating like a motherfucking professional. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey everyone.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 3 of a 3-part series. And if you're new, please go listen to part 1 and part 2. And also if you're new, please go to episode 1 of season 1 and listen to the whole thing. You can binge listen. We know some people that have done that.
Yes.
And also we have a new country.
Italy.
Yes, welcome Italy. We have some Italians listening to us now.
Yay.
Very exciting. Our country list keeps getting longer. So
it's very exciting. We're so happy. We are so grateful. And we just cannot believe that there is somebody in Italy right now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Or earlier this morning or late last
yeah.
night, just listening to Rick and I talk about our sex life.
That's so excited. So if it's only one listener and you're listening right now, Mr. and Mrs. Italy, welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you got a little bit excited.
Tell your friends what's up.
Tell everybody in Italy. We want all of them to listen. So
such a surreal feeling. I just can't even believe it.
I know, it's pretty fun. This is fun. This is lots of fun.
So check it, guys. If you remember from last week, we left it off with Joan reaching out one more time. It's a new year and a new idea from Joan.
She seems to wait just long enough that we want her again.
Yes.
So if there was ever any misgivings or, which there really, like this, the last one.
At this point, there wasn't. No.
We love her. To put this kind of also in context, somewhere in part 1 or part 2, maybe part 2, or maybe not until now, Tori and Joan no longer work together.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that is actually good to point out.
It'll kind of give, as you visualize what was going on, it'll make more sense how we have these brief separations from Joan and then have reunions constantly.
She just waits and waits, and then all of a sudden it's like a ding.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I miss you. And it always starts with that. I miss you.
Yeah,
We're like,
I just go,
we miss you
like,
too.
I miss you too. So it's a beginning of a new year with Joan, and she, as always, has a brand new idea up her sleeve.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I guess just get to the point right away, right? That's how she did it. She just texted us, guys, I need a sugar daddy. And it wasn't necessarily like, Rick, I need you to be my sugar daddy.
Right. But we talked about that, Tori and I did, and we were like, was that like hinting that she wants me to do it? Or like, are we supposed to help her find a sugar daddy?
Because you all know Rick was like, I want to do that. I want to be her sugar daddy.
I was like, wait, what? Yes, that. I hope you're talking about me, but I didn't say that to her. I just, she started to give us details.
Yeah, about what she was looking for in a sugar daddy.
Right.
Which is this intentional on her part? Because she knows you're going to bite.
She's crafty one, that
She
girl.
is very crafty.
She knows how much I want that ass and pussy and tits and everything.
Easy. Oh,
Joan, just so you know, right now as I'm talking about you, I want you like really bad.
I feel like you have reached out to Joan through these episodes so much.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
I want to make her wet. So anyway, so she says, I want to find somebody that I can see once a week, and I want $100 each time.
Right.
And I was like, $100? Like that's in sugar daddy, sugar baby world. I think that's like a really low amount.
That's like a very, very, very low amount.
Yeah.
Like that's not even worth any girl's time usually.
And
she had a plan. She needed about $400 a month extra.
For a series of months, right?
Yeah, to get her to her summer vacation or something along those
wherever
lines.
she was going.
Whatever her next thing was.
Yeah, she was trying to go somewhere,
she
a
was
concert or to another country, something.
right.
And so she was trying to raise some cash in addition to her job.
Right.
So I immediately say, I'll be your sugar daddy. Like I went for it immediately. I'm so weak. And she, I can't really remember how she responded, but other than somehow it was okay.
Yeah.
Basically, she just kind of was like confirming what she thinks she read or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, would you rather find a stranger or would you rather it be me? And she right away said, well, I would rather it be you.
Yeah.
Because she's familiar with me, and that would just be an easy way.
And if I remember correctly, through this text thread, it was this, she was describing an app that she could find sugar daddies on, and this is what she was going to ask for them. And because we know and love Joan, we were kind of like, I don't know that that's a safe idea, or if that's a good idea, or what kind of man you're going to get for such a low price, you know?
You know what's funny about that is you're thinking that, and I'm going along with it, but I'm thinking that's points for me. Like,
oh my God.
I always have ulterior motives, but I'm like, me.
Pick me.
Yeah, pick me.
To be your sugar daddy.
Right.
What a beautiful poem.
So we get that done through text, but then we're like, well, we need to have a meeting about this. So,
yeah, like let's well, first of all, we haven't seen her in a while, so let's meet up and like have a conversation about this.
Sure.
If she's serious.
So when she came over, I said to her, you know what I would like? And what's on my wish list is I would love to have morning sex because that's what I love doing. And Tori doesn't like having morning sex necessarily. Is that true? Is that fair?
I like to have morning sleep.
Yes. There you go. So she says, that's perfect because my new job is an overnight, working all night. It's night shift. I get off at 7 in the morning. I go, that's perfect. Do you want to come over right after that? And she says, yes, that would be great because then she doesn't have to go home and decompress and then have to get her energy level back up. And I was like, yeah, so come over right after you get off work. It's going to be on Tuesday mornings. That's what we decided.
And guys, just to without getting too much into the weeds about how this all played out, at this point in Rick and I's relationship, I had gotten my own apartment. I was in a self-development journey, I believe. I was really struggling with not being financially independent and not knowing if I could stand on my own 2 feet without him. And so to prove that to myself and to start working on myself and to give myself space, I got a new job and I got my own apartment, and I was off doing not my own thing. We were still very much together. Yes. We just had space. That's how she could come over in the morning and I could still be getting my morning sleep and not be bothered by him having a sugar baby come over in the morning.
You could keep your routine.
Yes, exactly.
And, yeah.
So just wanted to throw that in there in case anybody was wondering how that,
for context.
How that worked out.
That made a big difference. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know that. Yeah, we probably wouldn't have made that arrangement, honestly.
I don't know how you would have.
Yeah, probably
I guess
not.
Unless it was just a matter of, you have to do it in the middle of the day.
Sure.
When I'm not there.
Right. So it's all set, and she's going to come over on Tuesday mornings right after work.
I immediately gave my stamp of approval for this.
Right.
And I'm just, in case anybody's wondering why this is, because to point out, this is not something we've ever done in our relationship. We haven't gone rogue on each other like this.
Right.
But this is a girl I trust very much, and a girl also I know that Rick is not going to no offense, but fall in love with. This is
that was too late for that. I was in love with her.
She is not somebody he's going to go run off with. Also,
yeah, when you think long term, guys, Tori is my absolute best friend in the world. there's no two ways about it, hands down.
And Rick is mine.
It's really because I know this doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense to people, that we can do this but what you got to understand is that I honestly can't imagine doing this journey with somebody else, not with the kind of commitment that we have for each other and that sort of thing. It really is ironclad. And that's not to say that we don't have some crazy arguments that almost sever the whole thing. And it may one day, I don't know, but I hope not. And so anyway, as much as I love Joan, because she is a cool chick and everything, and I think she loves us the same way, I guess the word I want to use is she's not my type, but she's not my type for a life journey. And I think she would say the same thing.
Agreed.
As much as she digs us, you can tell she wants to walk a different path than us, and she realizes that, and she's smart, super smart. And so, yeah.
And so for me, it was, I'm on this self-developmental journey. My libido went down. I had so much attention on me growing as a person that I felt like my sex was kind of just getting in the way. And then Rick was not pressuring me, but I felt the pressure to have sex with my partner because I feel like sex is an important part of a relationship.
Damn, bitch. Shit.
Take it easy, Ricardo. I'm trying to be serious here.
It was serious. Seriously dry around here.
My God.
It's like this is the big drought of 2022.
You're such a dick. Oh, way to lighten up the mood, baby. Thank you. So
continue.
I agreed to it is the point.
Yeah.
And I was sure of it. I was absolutely 100% sure of it.
Yeah.
I knew that this was going to be okay.
I felt like you were kind of excited for me.
I was.
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, you and I were still, that's the other thing is you and I were still having sex with some other people, but we weren't necessarily having sex together.
Right. Yeah. You had mentioned that it got to a point where it needed to be a threesome.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
We'll have to unpack that someday, but
yes.
We're trying to figure that out.
And so we all agree, all three of us, put our hands in the middle. Sugar daddy babies on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Sugar daddy babies. Did I say that right?
Sugar my daddy babies.
Sugar my daddy babies.
And it started immediately.
Yes.
She was like, I need to start earning cash.
Yeah, I need some money now.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I need some pussy now.
Yeah, and so you guys got started pretty quick.
Yeah. The next Tuesday arrives, and but on Monday night, I gotta say, I was kind of nervous. I don't know why. So this is somebody that we've been with in all sorts of ways. I mean, we now have history with this girl. And so on Monday night, I was like, oh, Joan's coming over tomorrow. I got to get ready. I started like this kind of ritual. And so I went and I made sure that my as Tori likes to say, that my balls were nared. I don't want any hair around my balls in the shaft area. Yeah. So I made sure I was all smooth as glass down there. And so I get all ready. And then I had this whole thing where I kind of couldn't sleep that night, but I eventually fell asleep, but then just woke up on my own. And I had this kind of weird fantasy where I thought, yeah, it would be cool. She opens up the door and walks in, and I'm sound asleep, and all of a sudden her hands are rubbing me and wakes me up. And I'm like, oh, hello. And then a little soft kiss, good morning, But that's not how it went at all. I'm wide awake. Ding, my eyes are just like wide open, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to brush my teeth because I don't want to have stinky breath, and I'm going to lay in bed, and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden it's like 7:05, and I get the message, I'm on my way. I was like, oh, cool. So I was like, okay, she says she's 10 minutes away. She'll be here anytime. I write back, say, the door's unlocked. And then I lay in bed and I just pretend I'm asleep.
You're ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, let me try and play
I was just trying to make this a thing. And and that's so not like me, right? I'm just like, let's fuck. But then I hear the door open and I hear, "Good morning, Rick." I go, "Hey, good morning." She goes, "Hey, I've been working all night and I feel icky," is what she said. And then she goes, "Can I just jump in the shower real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah, shower up. That's fine." And so now the cat's out of the bag. I'm awake. She knows. So I can't pretend I'm asleep and she's just rousing me out of bed. And so I hear the shower stop and I'm like, yes, here she comes. So I don't know why I've been with Joan so many times, but it was all brand new for me. So she comes over to the bed and she's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey," and she gets in bed with me and we start kissing and making out, and we did that for a little while. But man, as soon as that happened, my dick it was hard enough to cut diamonds.
Oh, dear.
And so it was just like, I had shorts on too, and it was like getting all tangled up in my shorts. And
let me get these shorts off.
Let me take these things off. So I did, and she started like kissing down my torso basically, and then went and started sucking on my dick and just gave me the most terrific blowjob, and she did that for a little while, and then it was just kind of the sex that we had was. It was almost carbon copy every time. She got in bed, we'd make out, she'd go down on me, which felt amazing. She knew I love having my balls sucked, so she sucked my balls and would suck my dick, and then she would climb on top of me, do cowgirl, fuck me, and just ride me, and then I would then throw her down on her back, and I'd fuck her missionary, but with her legs up, and which I love doing also, and then turning her over on her side and fucking her that way. And then I'd fuck her doggy style, like every which way. And we were just all over the bed, and just, it was just fun. And I was just driving it home, and she, as you know, Joan likes it hard.
Yeah.
So I was just going hard. And then, she just kept saying, keep going, like, didn't want me to stop. And so, and then we did that for a good part of an hour.
Yeah.
And then she would just kind of, it reminds me of a pro, because she's just like, "Hey, well, I got to go, so, but I'll see you next Tuesday." I was like, "Yeah, I'll see you next Tuesday." And she gets dressed and off she goes.
And you were like, "Wow, that was
like,
great."
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, that's exactly what I need." Like, it was like no nonsense. It was just.
It's kind of strange for me because I don't know that I've ever heard you describe the sex you had with her during that time.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
Are you mad at me?
Not at all.
Dodged a bullet.
I just think it's interesting.
I was scared to talk about this, by the way, like, because it makes me think about when we talked about our gal down in Galveston, and how she and her boyfriend had this kind of textbook perfect open relationship, and one of the things that they did is they didn't rub their face in it.
Mm-hmm. Don't ask, don't tell.
And I don't even know if it was that stringent, but they, because they did tell each other that they were with somebody. They just didn't make a deal of it, so that it didn't get under the skin of the other. So I never really talked about
what was going on at that point.
No details. So
and sometimes it was just like, I would be like, "Well, did she come over?" And you would say yeah or no or whatever. For me, that first morning, it was like that night before, I was thinking about it, and I was like, but not in a weird way. I was just like, this is so strange that she's going to be over there tomorrow morning and I'm not going to be there. I put myself to sleep. I was fine. I wasn't overthinking it like I typically do about a lot of things. And then I woke up and I'm halfway through my morning routine, which is just a little bit of stretching. It usually takes me an hour and a half to get ready for work, which is just stretching, making myself a big old breakfast because I need something big and hearty and good.
And you don't have me there to gobble up.
Oh. And couple cups of coffee, and I'm sitting there. Anyways, I'm halfway through and I'm like, oh my God, she's over there right now. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I like totally forgot about it. So, well, if this is how it's going to be, I'm fine. I'm golden. Okay. Yeah. How do I feel? Like, I'm checking in with myself. I'm trying to figure out how I feel, and and I feel okay.
You feel good about it.
And that felt good.
And that was in large part due to the fact that it was Joan,
Yes.
right?
I think so.
Because I don't know that I could have made that arrangement with anybody else.
Well,
maybe somebody we've been with.
But that's the thing is, it definitely couldn't have been somebody we hadn't been with.
Right.
That's a for sure thing in my mind. If it had been somebody we had already been with, I don't know. I would have to stop and think about, okay, this person is probably this person is. I don't know. I don't think I could have done it. I think it definitely helped that it was Joan.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so things were going good. And it was just basically the same routine over and over again every week. Nair my balls, go to sleep, pretend I'm asleep, wake up, unlock the door, brush my teeth, go back into bed, wait for her to get there. And the sex was pretty much the same, every time.
Yeah.
But it felt amazing every single time. And I just loved it. It was, man, getting up in the morning. And I already have a hard on in the mornings anyway.
Every day.
And to just work it out right then and there is just, it's heaven.
Amazing. So, you've always loved morning sex.
Yeah, I really have. And Tori and I have morning sex too.
Yeah.
If we sleep in.
If we sleep in.
Your requirement is you just need sleep, which is understandable. But so, but then she kind of there started to be cancellations. Not a lot, but it was, she would cancel, which is I guess it wouldn't be a big deal, except for me, when she would cancel, there wouldn't be another opportunity until the following Tuesday. And I was loving this so much that I was like, no, I don't want to wait till next Tuesday. Can you do it tomorrow? No, I can't. And so then it would have to be the next Tuesday.
Right. And for me, it was shifting in the sense that if it was a Tuesday morning, I was like, I wonder if she's over there. Because when she would start to flake, now I don't know if she's there or not.
Right.
Because she was sometimes there and sometimes not. And so I would be thinking all morning in my routine, God, I wonder if she's there. Do you think she already went and left? Like, what if they're like laying there talking? Like, why would they be talking? What are they talking about? What are they doing? And at this point, I feel like she was probably having more sex with you than I was.
Sure.
Which is strange. And then I don't even want to admit to this. I would speed up my morning routine so that I could get in my car and drive by your place and see if her car was there. But the stupid thing about it was, so in the building, there's a huge parking lot in front of the building before there's the next street. And so I would drive by on that street thinking I could see what was going on in the front of the parking lot up against the building, which I couldn't, but it just felt good for me to drive by. I think, you know what I would do is I would look up and see if the lights were on or see if I could see movement.
See if she was plastered naked up against the window.
Exactly. God, that would probably break my heart at that time. I would have been like,
like, damn, he never presses me up the window with my tits up there. For the whole world to see.
And so I started to lose it a little bit. I wasn't handling it like I did the first time. So yeah, this sucked. And also what sucked about it was I was letting it, I'll say letting it, it was consuming my thoughts when I was alone and when I was trying to do, work on Tori's mode. But then I would go hang out with Rick like in the evenings after work and we would have dinner and he's upset because she canceled or she's being flaky or she was going to show up but she didn't. I'm going to try and get her to come tomorrow. Do you think I should have her do this? Or do you think maybe if I paid her more, then it's consuming my time with him. So this whole thing just became a lot on our plates. And something that we just did not know what to do with.
But also that's happening, but you're not telling me this is bugging you.
No.
You're just kind of patiently listening to me, and it isn't until later on,
right,
well down the road from all of this, that you and in fact, a lot of it just kind of discussing this episode, like trying to get our bearings straight on this, I've learned a lot about what was bothering you.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I had no idea. And probably what I now know is that had I been paying attention, I would have known.
Yes.
But I was starting to get blinded by it all. I, on the other hand, while that's going on, is I'm kind of feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hide my guilt. I feel like really good. Like other than the kind of the flakiness or whatever, in my mind, I don't realize that I'm also starting to kind of lose it a little bit because I'm starting to get consumed by it as well in my own way.
Mm.
But I'm feeling guilty, and so I kind of take comfort in the fact, this is then, that it's being kept business. In other words, we're not doing that, and then she's hanging out, perhaps all morning or whatever. No, that never happened once. It was just come in. We had great sex, and okay, I gotta go. Okay, see you later, and that was it. And we maintained that. And boy, if we hadn't have, I don't know if this would have, it would have really ended badly. I think.
I don't know that detail mattered to me at the time.
Right, it probably didn't.
Right, and I think
that's me just trying to not feel guilty.
Yes.
Oh, well, it's fine because I'm just keeping it business. And I think that matters.
Yeah.
And you learn in lots of situations what me as a guy thinks matters. I'm really thinking of myself, and it's it's a selfish act. Yeah, I didn't want to lose it.
He was getting more things accomplished on the day-to-day.
Yeah, it energized me.
And he was excited when she came over.
Yeah.
But again, if she didn't come over, if she rescheduled, you would be on your phone trying to make things happen for it.
Yeah. And in retrospect, that's just crazy.
And if she didn't come over on Monday and she was then going to come over or if she didn't come over on Tuesday and she was going to come over on Wednesday, well, then that meant I couldn't spend the night. Like it was
right.
oh, I'm over for dinner, but you have to go home because Joan's coming in the morning.
I got shit to do.
And it sucks because
I forgot about that part. That's crazy too.
Yeah, just send me on my way so that make sure you can get your nut.
Yeah, and we talked about it. It became a drug for me.
It did.
I was addicted. That's when you start doing crazy behavior to get this thing.
And ignoring everything
shirking
in front of
all
you.
Responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody in front of you doesn't matter. And I was like, no, I want to do this. It makes me wonder what would have happened if it just went like clockwork every Tuesday morning and that's it. And it would probably still been a problem, but I was falling apart.
Right.
And I didn't really realize it. I thought, for me, I could blame it on, I'm just being determined, you got to make things happen,
Yeah.
And it's funny how I'll do that with some things and not others. Yeah. I will certainly do it for pussy.
Yes.
Because it was definitely.
It wasn't a drug like you were building a tolerance to it. It was a drug that you were chasing a high.
I was chasing a high, yeah.
He was chasing a high, and he was going to put everything aside so that he could make sure that she would come over once a week.
Right.
And
so it's starting to get out of control. And so then another twist to all of this happens. In the meantime, Tori and I, when it's not Tuesday, we're kind of doing our thing. And we had been going to this bar near us, and we started hitting it off with a bartender there.
Right. She was really cool.
Super cool bartender. And we thought, we got to do something with her, and not even thinking sex, just let's go.
We need to hang out with her.
We need to hang out with her.
Yeah.
And we invited her to dinner because there was some big event happening at a restaurant. And she says, yeah, I'll join you guys. And so she did. And we went and had dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And drinks. Now, this was on a Monday, and this is how bad it had gotten for me. It was a Monday night. We go have dinner with her. Then we come over to our place and have some drinks. And she's
hanging out.
Yeah.
She's like totally vibing with us. I'm having a great time with her, totally hitting it off with her. And
she wants to spend the night.
I think she overdrank. I think we smoked. And she was like, it would be cool if I crashed here, right? And it was in that tone of, she's going to hang out and crash with us, but we're not going to have sex. Like, this is just a friend that's going to crash.
Yeah,
and
we
stay with
felt
us.
like she was open to that, but wanted to get to know us.
Exactly.
Better. Yeah, it was all good. We were really liking her, and we're like, of course you can. But now remember, I'm starting to get this addictive behavior. I'm like, oh shit, I have Joan tomorrow morning, and I was like, oh. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm panicking. I don't want to cancel. It had canceled the week before.
And I think after we had said that, yeah, you can spend the night, you like, when I was, you went over to the office and called me in or something. And you were like, love, I have Joan in the morning. Like, what should I do?
Right.
What should I do? And I was like, I don't know. Cancel? Like, what do you mean? What should
I said, are you crazy?
And so what did you do?
God, that's crazy. It's so weird to talk about this right now. It's really difficult.
I believe
it really is because,
you know, I still love you.
Yeah,
and you know that I've forgiven you.
I booked, there's a hotel next to our building. I booked a hotel room. And so that morning I would meet her at the hotel room.
Mm-hmm. I think you ended up leaving that night.
Right. Yeah. And I went, and at 7 a.m., there I was in the hotel. And I met her down in the parking lot and walked her up to the hotel room, and we had our usual sex. And after I was done, I walked over to our place, and you were already up and you were starting to make breakfast.
Right.
And you I've known Tori long enough that I know when she's incredibly upset with me.
Like pissed.
And she was putting on a really brave face and was being kind to me and all of that. And as soon as our gal from the bar got in her car and left, it just fell apart after that.
Yeah. I don't even know that I said anything really besides I just left.
Yeah.
Again, I had my own place.
It was not good.
And I was just like, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't believe that me, first of all, and then a very cool person, cool chick, super sexy, super cute. It doesn't even have to be sexual.
When I think back on it, I remember leaving and you guys were getting in bed, and she had put on just a t-shirt, and she had these beautiful tits that were just pushing through this t-shirt, and just this amazing body. She's a really thick girl. And when I wasn't thinking anything, you know what? It's a whole thing where you try to justify it. And my justification was, you guys got in bed and she got in the middle like girls often do when they stay with us, and she spooned you. And you guys started to lay there. And I justified like, oh, they're going to have a good time.
Oh.
Do you see what I'm saying? Right. But then I learned that wasn't at all. I mean, I think, you guys were comfortable with each other, but it wasn't going to turn into this, sexual thing.
Right.
Like a movie scene or something. But so anyway, so now looking back on it, I see that image all the time of you two doing that. And I looked at how good she looks, and I was like, was I out of my fucking mind or what?
Yeah.
If I had to cancel, my alternative was just as good, if not better, even if all we did was cuddle with each other. And I mean, she looked good.
Yeah.
So that I lost my mind.
It wasn't dick in a pussy, dick in a vagina.
I absolutely lost my mind. That was just crazy. And you would have thought that would have been the turning point, but I still met up with her then the next week. And then and then I was going to meet up with her again the next week, but inexplicably
the universe helped us out.
Yeah, the universe did us a huge favor.
But what we mean by that is that Joan reached out and told Rick that she needed to stop.
Yeah.
And she needed to stop doing this. And he had no other option.
Yeah.
Just to be
Yeah.
like,
She
oh,
basically
okay.
pulled the plug.
Yeah.
And I wasn't upset about it. Just because of her kind of history of being in our lives, out of our lives, in our lives, out of our lives.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, well, I knew, and I think I said to you, like, I knew it was going to end.
Yeah.
And that's part of what my drive was like, I want to take advantage of this while it's here because it's going to go away. But
I was going to say, you said that from the very beginning, you know, this isn't going to last very long.
yeah,
And I was like, yeah, I know. I was like,
Right.
but you might as well give it a shot and see
Sure.
how it goes. And then yet for you to be wanting it so much that whole time does kind of make sense too, to the fact that you were like, wait, it's going to leave. You know, it's going to leave. You know, it's going
Yeah.
to leave. You know, it's not going to last. And so you were milking it for what it was.
Right.
And I wish that I was brave enough or bold enough to have said something the very first time it started to make me feel uneasy.
right.
It would have been a hard conversation for us to have, and you might have pushed back on it.
I feel like that you and I, to a large degree, are very careful not to dash the hopes of the other.
Yes.
You know, like when you want something, I'm real careful not to say or do something that will
to get in the way.
to get in your way
Mhm.
of something that you feel that you want to do or whatever. But we now know that this wouldn't have been that. This was a real problem starting to rear its head.
Yes.
And
For me, I always told myself too that I agreed to this because this was another new thing that we were doing in our relationship that we had never done and we had no experience on, and we just agreed to it. And I thought it was the proper non-monogamous thing to do,
right.
to push down my feelings about it because I had already agreed to it. This was an agreement, you know?
Mhm.
And I thought I shouldn't say anything.
And we thought to ourselves, we can do this. I mean, how is this destroying us? We're the king and queens of threesomes.
Yeah,
like, what? Like, no, this is nothing. You know what I mean?
And it was way bigger than us.
It was way over our heads. Yeah, yeah, definitely bigger than us. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. And it was certainly way bigger than me. I feel like you had more of a grasp of what was going on.
I was on the outside looking in.
I seriously, looking back on it, I lost my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Like,
you were addicted.
It was just crazy. So that was it. She couldn't do that anymore for whatever reason, and we didn't hear from her and
months.
Yeah.
Months and months.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like it's okay because Rick and I are cleaning up our mess,
Right.
you know, and we needed that time. And
yeah, what was it you said that we needed to do some house? How'd you say house cleaning?
Yeah, we needed a clean house.
We needed a clean house. We really did.
We did that last episode too.
Yes. So once again, it's like our house must have been really fucking dirty.
Yeah.
Like it was great. We missed a spot.
And then just out of the blue, here she comes.
Here she comes again.
Ding!
The beacon of hope.
Yeah.
She sends us a text and says she misses us.
Yep.
And this time she has no new ideas. She just wants to see us.
She just misses us and wants to come over.
I think a lot of times you always text back to her and say, "Is this a booty call?" She always says, "Well, it can be."
Yeah, I fuck with her a lot like that. Yeah. And sure enough, she did. She's like, "I want to come over. Yeah, I want to come see you." And I was like, "All right, get your ass over here." And we hadn't seen her in months.
Right.
And of course, all of this is water under the bridge at this point. Rick and I have no tension between each other.
We worked it all out. And, well, you know what's funny is we worked it out, except that just so you guys know, preparing for this episode, we drudged it all up again and
worked it out again.
It was difficult. It was just now difficult for me to talk about
I
that.
know.
I mean, we do crazy stuff, but that was, for me, that I went to a dark place.
Mm-hmm.
Tori and I communicate so much that it would sicken most people how much we communicate. But we do, and we've communicated about this again, and I think that it helps us, right?
I do.
Doesn't it help us to talk about it again, like we
Yes.
did, preparing for this episode?
This
And,
episode has been the best therapy for us.
Yeah, so just let that be a lesson to anybody trying to navigate this, is that you really do have to talk it out. We've said that before. We'll keep saying it.
This is
It's difficult. Sometimes we think it's over, but we keep talking and we come back again, and it's all good. And so anyway, but she came over.
She did.
Yeah, and she looked more delicious than ever
She
before.
all of a sudden had like this thick ass on her. And
Tori couldn't stop
I was
looking at it and
like,
talking about it.
I was like, Joan, baby, what is
Yeah.
going on with this dump
She's
truck?
like, "You like it?"
She was so proud
Yeah,
of it.
she was, because she had been going to the gym. And,
And I did. She was standing up against our little island, and I just go behind her, and I was just like, Jesus Christ. And I just start grabbing her ass, and I think she might have had some sort of dress on or something. And I
Yeah.
lifted it up, and I just went in. I went in on that ass.
Yeah.
And I remember you came up, and you started making out with her.
Right.
And now I've got his dick next to me, and I'm eating her ass, and in I go on your dick.
Yeah, I
and
just let my dick free.
She
I let it loose.
she slid down, and she started giving you a blowjob with me, and we
Right.
were just, it was finally a point where we were 3 equal parts.
Right. Out of all these 3 episodes, it was this moment where she really, in a very strong way, wanted to be with the both of us.
Yes.
And we had never done that with her before. It was just like, we were all just adored each other.
In that moment,
Yes.
we were
Um,
in it to win it.
right. It was amazing.
We came together that day, and I don't want to say, because I want to see Joan again, I don't want to say it was a farewell
Right.
tour, but it felt like a farewell tour.
It kind of did feel that way, because
And-
for whatever reason, that sort of was the end of it.
Yeah.
And it's been a while now, although we keep in touch with her. It's a little flirty type thing, but we never get together with her.
Right. I think it might be the end of our season with her.
Right?
Oh, no, but like not the podcast season.
Yeah. She's our one season Susan. Yeah, I think that was an era. It's the end of an era.
It might be in the end of an era with her.
I hope not. I hope we get to.
Well, we've learned that Rick doesn't
Maybe.
know when to put things to rest when it's
That
time.
is true.
So,
Yes. Okay.
if I say it's the end of an era, it's the end of an era.
Okay, it's the end of an era. Maybe. You always got to leave the light on,
Maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted.
Oh,
You
God.
guys root for me, please. But yeah, so that's the story of Joan.
Started off with a strap on and slapping and choking, and then it went into OnlyFans and dressing up and
Yeah,
and
tying
role
her up
play and tying her up.
Yeah, and just all kinds of stuff.
To sugar daddy, sugar
daddy,
baby.
Yeah,
I remember you were so proud of yourself. You're like, I'm a sugar daddy.
I'm a sugar daddy. I have a sugar baby. That's right.
That's me. My name is Rick.
She comes over every week. Tori and I wear our heart on our sleeves. It's the oddest thing. I think some people are like, "Why are you telling me this?"
Yes.
That's why we started this show, because we want to talk about it.
That is so true.
Yeah, it is. Some people kind of give us some odd looks, but that's who we are.
Sorry, not
And
sorry.
we love it. And I think that's we're gonna leave it here.
Yeah, we're going to leave that with you guys.
And we'll have another great story for you.
And hey, I have forgiven Rick, so all you fuckers out there better forgive him.
Please forgive me.
He's a good man. He got caught up in
A whirlwind.
of emotions.
My philosophy is, and you guys all do this, everybody listening to this, do this. You have to write your own story, however wild and wacky it is. And so I want you to sit down right now after you're done listening to this and say to yourself, if I were to write my story up to this point right now, would it be exciting, or would it be the story I would want to tell? And it doesn't have to be exciting. It can be a serene, beautiful, conscious, meditative story. Whatever it is, but make sure that it's a story that you would want people to hear. So I'm going to leave you with that.
I love that, baby.
Yeah. And thanks so much for listening.
All right.
We love you.
Much love.
Talk later. Bye.